great bloody emotion. I hope you guys find that completely infuriating. Police conduct is an issue of vital concern, particularly to residents who are working class and come from historically marginalized communities. There was a video that went viral, over 6 million views, showing a black man being confronted by Westlake PD. He was on his property, and the Westlake PD was trying to arrest that man's daughter under dubious pretenses. There were at least 5 officers with guns drawn, screaming threats of shooting the man. You're gonna get fucking whacked. Do you want to get hit with a 40 milli? Under what conditions are people allowed to come to your house, try to kidnap your daughter under fraudulent pretenses? One of the officers spoke to Mr. Carpenter saying, "This isn't your turf." Under what circumstances can I pull up to your house with a gang of armed friends and tell you that your house is my turf? We demand that all these so-called police officers involved should be fired. The officers involved are supposedly sworn to serve and protect. Not one person was in danger until the police came. No one was in danger until the police came. You are responsible for this police department. Fire these officers, or the community will be forced to grapple with the reality that the city of Westlake endorses racist police policing, with officers taunting, threatening, and attempting to humiliate and emasculate black people. I believe in reciprocity. As a community, we must provide a counterforce to police terrorism. And that's what this is, terror. If I can't come to your house and reproduce the same behavior that those officers reproduced to Mr. Carpenter, who would take that? I'd be dead. You're responsible for that. Don't force the community to organize an opposition to resist this racist policing. 6 million views on that video. We the people will oppose racist police terrorism.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn. Next speaker, I'm going to try my best on this name. Is it Tam Lytle? Please come to the podium. Please correct my mispronunciation of your name and state your address.
Tam Lytle, and I live in Cleveland. I came here today to speak on behalf of the Carpenter family, who was targeted and harassed by your city's police department. I was compelled to come after I saw the viral video showing the horrific treatment this family faced from a gang of overly reactive, irrational cops. Mr. Carpenter had come out to Cleveland to clear his daughter's missing vehicle, which had been returned to her. He headed on home, and on that same day had guns pointed at him in his own driveway over the returned vehicle, a miscommunication. Your police department sent like 4 or 5 armed officers when one guy with a notepad could have cleared that up. This police rolled up, ready to shoot first and ask questions later. And this is an escalation that you can plainly see in the video. It is almost comical. These men, who are supposed to be meant to serve the public, to be defenders, problem solvers, negotiators, these men threw big old tantrums. They were waving their guns around, making awful threats, outnumbering a man and his teenage daughter in his own front yard. The way these officers handled themselves was frankly embarrassing. And at this point, we understand this problem to be systemic within police departments across the state and across the country. They reacted that way, all puffed up and ready to pounce, because they saw their victims were black folks that they could get away with bullying. They're trained to behave this way towards the working class, and especially towards black working class folk. This sting operation that they pulled was an egregious waste of taxpayer dollars and a huge waste of the police department's training budget. Do you think taxpayers want cops on their payroll to act like blood-hungry, unprofessional, egotistical bullies towards the public? Absolutely not. And even tonight, you're talking about purchasing more rifles and tasers for the police department. I think that money would be spent better literally anywhere else, because obviously your police force cannot handle themselves with tact in what was a non-violent situation. Why arm them further? The cops in that video need anger management classes, not more weapons. I, and many others, are here to signal to city councils and police departments in Ohio that we're not going to lay down and allow this continued abuse and brutality. We're not going to allow these crimes to go unanswered. We're seeking justice and change. The system is disgusting and it's time that it was destroyed. You can't keep avoiding accountability. Get ready for the community to fight back.
Thank you. Adam Barrington? Please state your name and address for the record.
Adam Barrington, address. Again, my name's Adam Barrington. I'm a resident of Cleveland, Ward 11. And though I'm not a resident of Westlake, I felt compelled to speak here tonight after viewing, like we've heard already, that extremely disturbing video involving Westlake PD officers. And by now, we all are pretty much aware of the incident that I'm talking about. For those of you who are not aware, last week, Westlake PD officers descended upon a Westlake family, the Carpenters, in a needlessly bellicose, hateful, and violent manner. And in the video, which has, again, been viewed by over 6 million people at this point, the officers aim their guns at Mr. Carpenter and his daughter, they shout obscenities, and they make multiple threats on their lives. And you can hear the officers saying despicable things. Do you want to get hit with this 40 millimeter? You're going to get effing whacked. And like we've already heard, I'm just, editing that for sensitive ears. And is that the kind of behavior that the city of Westlake endorses in its police? Can Westlake possibly be proud of the way in which these officers treated residents, which, it needs to be remembered, pay their salaries? And of course, the officers tried to place the blame on Mr. Carpenter. And surely, if the training they received in 2022 from the Force Science Institute taught them anything, it's that they should never take responsibility or be held accountable for their actions. And for those who don't know, the Force Science Institute is a disgraceful company that trains police officers across the country in the art of using excessive force and getting away with it. And that mentality, the mentality of an unaccountable violent mafia, is what over 6 million people saw on full display in that video. So I joined the other concerned, disgusted, and infuriated people here today to demand that the officers who targeted, harassed, and threatened the Carpenter family be immediately terminated. The city of Westlake owes it to the community and to the residents of the greater Cleveland community who subsidize the city with their hard-earned money at Westlake businesses to prove that the behavior of these officers will not be tolerated and that Westlake is not a haven for hate and violence. Terminate those officers now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barrington. Riley Petro? Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Riley Petro. Address is. I'm a resident of Cleveland, but my employer is based in Westlake. My views do not reflect the views of my employer. I'm here to express my disgust at the violent and racist harassment faced by the Carpenter family at the hands of Westlake police officers last week. An unarmed father and his daughter were held up at gunpoint by police who made statements such as, and I'm not going to censor this because they were not afforded such luxuries, as you're going to get fucking whacked and you want to get hit with the 40 millimeter. These officers are supposedly public servants, yet their actions on camera show that they are a threat to public safety and to the community. If this city government is to have any credibility, These officers must be fired immediately. Anything less is an indication that Westlake does not care for the safety of its citizens, and especially its black residents. This is not an ask, this is a demand. The ball is in your court.
Thank you, Mr. Petro. Lenny Zimmerman? Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Lenny Zimmerman. My address, like many people here, I'm not from Westlake, I'm actually from Lakewood. But I think that it would be a disservice to our humanity not to be compelled by that video and not to take some time out of our work week to come and speak to you face to face. You know, Westlake is very close to Lakewood, and I think that we're connected by many things. But nobody should have to experience that, what the Carpenters experienced. And I hope that what you take away from this is imagining what that would be like. What it would be like to report your car stolen, and then after it was recovered, be targeted in such a way. The police, we're supposed to be able to trust the police. And I think at a time where many people struggle to find efficacy in their elected officials, and especially the police, this is your chance as elected officials to show that you've heard the public, that you care for your community, and respond promptly to such a horrific act.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address council? Hearing none, continuing on with the agenda, report of the mayor. Mayor?
I actually have a very short report. The city of Westlake will be hosting the 2025 Rain and Garden Show on Saturday, April 5th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Community Service Center. This event is free and open to the public and will feature local vendors with a kids zone. And the annual Easter egg hunt sponsored by the Westlake Town Crier is scheduled for Saturday, April 12th at 1 p.m. in the playground area at the Westlake Recreation Center. That concludes my report.
Great, thank you, Mayor. Report of administrative officials. I'm not aware of any reports of standing committees. The Committee of the Whole met this evening at 7:30 p.m. Present were council members Greenspan, Van Dyke, Sullivan, O'Donnell, Havelka, and Getsay. Also present were Mayor Clough, Law Director Maloney, Director Stoom, Smallwood, Shaw, Horner, Bedell, Serber, Steibel, Graham, Gadd, Cheeseby, Lozer, Moran, and Clerk Rosenbaum. Discussed this evening were agenda items, selected correspondence, Planning Commission report, as well as the 313 resident meeting on Porter Road, which will be conducted here in the City Council chambers, and that meeting convened at 7:43 p.m. That concludes the Committee of the Whole report. Reports of other boards and commissions, Meadowood Golf Course Development Plan, Mr. Van Dyke.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is from the Planning Commission meeting of February 3rd, 2025. This is the Meadowood Golf Course Development Plan driving range.
Yes, it's 29,800 Center Ridge Road, and I know you're all familiar with it. It's been discussed at many meetings. The Planning Commission did recommend approval. It does meet all zoning code requirements. One condition, that's their standard condition. There were some comments from the fire department that they wanted to be incorporated into the approval. Thank you.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the Meadowood Golf Course Development Plan driving range with the condition listed in the report of the February 3rd, 2025 Planning Commission.
There's been a motion. Is there a second? Second. Motion's made and seconded. Discussion on the motion? Hearing none, clerk will call roll on the motion to approve.
Greenspan,
Yes.
Van Dyke,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
O'Donnell,
Yes.
Havelka, yes, Getsay.
Yes.
The motion carries. Next, Mr. Van Dyke, please continue with the Planning Commission report.
Thank you. This is for the Planning Commission meeting of March 3rd, 2025. And the first item is Legacy West Estates major subdivision final plat.
Yes, so that ordinance will follow, to be ready for the next